Hello and welcome to your trusted source for deep, bold, and balanced commentary. Today, we're diving headfirst into one of Nigeria's most persistent political conspiracies. The claim that Muhammadu Buhari, former president of Nigeria, actually died years ago while in office, and was replaced by a clone or body double. For years, this rumor circulated across Nigeria, laughed off by some, believed by many, and now, with the news of Buhari's death and burial this week, it's back in full force. So what exactly is the truth? Was Nigeria led by a cloned figurehead for years? Or are these claims the result of mistrust, frustration, and a hunger for answers in a country riddled with secrets? As always, we're not here to blindly take sides. We're here to analyze the facts, reflect on what's real, and explore what it all means for Nigerians today. And of course, we'll be inviting you to share your own opinion at the end, because your voice matters. To understand how we got here, let's rewind the clock to 2017. Buhari had already been in office for 2 years when he suddenly disappeared from public view. He was flown to London for medical treatment, and the nature of his illness was never disclosed to the public. For over 3 months, 104 days to be exact, he was out of the country. The vice president, Yemi Osinbajo, acted in his place. During that time, the streets were filled with murmurs. Social media was ablaze with speculation. Where was the president? Why was his condition being kept a secret? Was he even alive? That silence from the presidency created a perfect storm. And from that storm came the now infamous rumor that Buhari had died in a London hospital and had been secretly replaced. Some claimed the replacement was a look-alike body double from Sudan, popularly named Jubril al-Sudani. Others went further, claiming it wasn't even a human impersonator, but a full-blown clone. Yes, a clone. As if Nigeria had suddenly stepped into the plot of a sci-fi thriller. Now, it's easy to dismiss such a theory as pure fantasy. But what's important to understand is this. In Nigeria, distrust of government runs so deep that even the impossible starts to feel believable. For decades, citizens have watched leaders hoard wealth, manipulate elections, dodge accountability, and disappear in moments of crisis. So when someone said, Buhari is not the same man who left, people were ready to listen. Not because they lacked intelligence, but because they'd been failed too many times to take anything at face value. Prominent voices gave life to the rumor. The leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, publicly declared that Buhari had died and that a Sudanese double was now in charge. His claims reached a massive audience, especially among those who already felt marginalized. Even though there was no concrete evidence, the idea spread fast, especially on WhatsApp, Facebook, and Twitter. Platforms notorious for amplifying unverified claims in Nigeria. In 2018, the rumor reached such a fever pitch that Buhari himself addressed it. While attending a summit in Poland, he was asked about the clone conspiracy. He chuckled and said, "It's the real me, I assure you." He added that he would soon celebrate his 76th birthday and was still going strong. It was a rare moment of levity from a man known for his serious demeanor. But instead of putting the matter to rest, his response raised even more eyebrows. If it was such a ridiculous rumor, why wait so long to address it? Why not be more transparent about his illness in the first place? And that's the key issue here. Transparency. The government's failure to openly share the president's health status allowed the public imagination to run wild. In a healthy democracy, people don't need conspiracy theories to fill the silence. But in a system where citizens are kept in the dark, rumors become a substitute for truth. Fast forward to this week. News broke that Muhammadu Buhari had died. His burial was held in his hometown, Dora, Katsina State. Leaders across Africa and beyond sent in their condolences. There were moments of mourning and remembrance. Some called him a patriot. Others saw him as a symbol of stability. But online, something else was happening. The clone theory was being resurrected, with a vengeance. Nigerians were asking, if he's being buried now, then who was ruling us all these years? Others claimed they knew it all along, that the real Buhari had died in 2017 and that this burial was nothing more than symbolic. On Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok, Nigerians reacted with everything from outrage to sarcasm to celebration. Some said, the truth is finally out. Others joked about the situation, creating memes, reenactments, and voiceovers mocking the clone theory. Many simply asked, so what now? Does it even matter anymore? And that's where this gets really interesting. Whether or not the clone theory is true, many Nigerians feel that the outcome has been the same: disappointment. Poverty remains high. Corruption is still rampant. Insecurity continues to plague communities. Fuel prices skyrocket. Electricity is unstable. Unemployment crushes dreams. So whether it was Buhari or Jubril or a robot from Mars, for millions of Nigerians, the face in Aso Rock never really delivered what they hoped for. Supporters of Buhari mourned him deeply this week. They remember a man who brought military discipline back into the political space. A man who tried to battle corruption head-on. A leader who, despite his flaws, maintained a humble personal lifestyle and shunned flamboyance. But his critics are not holding back. They recall his silences during national tragedies. They cite human rights abuses under his watch. They highlight his inability to heal divisions in the country or lift Nigerians out of despair. For them, the burial didn't mark the end of a statesman. It marked the end of an illusion. And somewhere in the middle are ordinary Nigerians. Tired, skeptical, but still searching for answers. Some are grieving. Others are confused. Many feel indifferent. One trending comment online summed it up perfectly. Dead or alive, cloned or not, nothing changed. And that's the real tragedy. So, let's talk about the logic behind this clone theory. Is it even possible? Cloning a fully grown adult, complete with personality, voice, gestures, and memories, is, at this moment in human history, scientifically impossible. Not even the most advanced technologies in the world can pull that off. And even if we imagined a look-alike double was trained to impersonate him, pulling that off for nearly 8 years, across press conferences, international meetings, private family gatherings, and with close aides, would be nearly impossible without someone from the inner circle leaking the truth. It would require an unbreakable conspiracy involving hundreds of people, none of whom ever spoke out. That kind of silence is rare, especially in Nigeria. More realistically, what people noticed were changes in Buhari's appearance and demeanor. He was visibly thinner after his return from London. His speech was slower, his presence more withdrawn. These are not signs of cloning. These are signs of an aging man who had just battled a serious illness. Combine that with controlled public appearances and tightly scripted speeches, and you have the perfect ingredients for suspicion, especially in a country where power is often managed from behind the curtain. But here's where it gets deeper. The clone theory wasn't just a belief about one man. It became a metaphor for a nation's disillusionment. Nigerians didn't just think their president was replaced. They felt that their democracy had been hijacked, their votes manipulated, their voices ignored. So when people said, "That's not Buhari," what they really meant was, "This leadership doesn't feel like it represents us." Now that Buhari has officially passed on, what happens to the legacy of this claim? Will it vanish? Or will it become another unsolved chapter in Nigeria's long book of political mysteries? Will future generations look back and wonder how such a wild theory gained such traction? Or will they see it as a symbol of deeper truths about power, secrecy, and the hunger for justice? Personally, I don't believe Buhari was cloned. The science doesn't add up, and the logistics of such an operation are just too far-fetched. But I do believe that the Nigerian government failed its people by hiding the truth about his health for far too long. That failure created the perfect environment for wild rumors to thrive. It wasn't the conspiracy that fooled people. It was the silence that betrayed them. As we close, I want to leave this open. Because ultimately, the truth doesn't belong to one voice. It belongs to all of us. So what do you think? Was Buhari really replaced? Or was the clone story just a symptom of Nigeria's trust deficit? How do you feel about his death and burial? And what does it all mean for the future of political transparency in Nigeria? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Whether you believe in the clone theory or think it's nonsense, your opinion matters. Let's keep the conversation respectful and engaging. If you found this video thought-provoking, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more fearless analysis. This is Sweet Story, where we don't just follow the headlines, we challenge them. Thanks for listening. See you in the next one.